So I really like camp. I went to a whole bunch of different camps when I was growing up. I made my Project for Awesome video this year about camperships, and I've always just kind of had it in the back of my mind that, you know, I would be a camp counselor someday. And here I am. I am working as a camp counselor this summer, which is really awesome, and it's also just kind of, you know, a novel experience of doing this thing that I've always wanted to do. Like, I feel like there have been a lot of times in my life where things haven't worked out, you know, exactly as I'd hoped or planned them to. Like, I didn't go to college exactly where I thought I would, or, you know, in high school there were a lot of times where I didn't, for example, do all the things I thought I would do with the theater department. And, like, all of those things worked out and were fine. And I feel like I've made a lot of videos kind of talking about having things being different from my expectations and dealing with that kind of thing. But it's been kind of a different experience to have this thing that I kind of always thought would happen actually happen. And like, I don't know what kind of thoughts or expectations I had going in, but it's been really cool, and it's also just been like, you know, the first week of camp for pretty much the whole week. You know, my mind was pretty much going like, this is it. I'm doing it. Like, this thing that I thought I would be doing it's happening, and I'm doing it. So I've been kind of starting to think about, you know, these other things that I've imagined doing but then just, you know, haven't really for whatever reason. And that's sometimes a dangerous trap to fall into, because I already do spend enough time thinking about how, what would happen if things had gone differently, what would happen if I had done this thing that I thought I would do, you know, all of that fun stuff. But like, thinking about the things that I can do, the things that, like, you know, I imagine I'm going to be changing every year, every semester. And there are so many things that I repeatedly imagine myself starting to do, whether it's, you know, vlogging or working on YouTube more, or just writing in general, or I have an idea for a web series that's been bouncing around in my head for the better part of a year, that, you know, maybe now is going to be the time when I'm going to write it and make it happen. But I just feel like I've reached a point in my life where I am able to take the things that I want to do and to do them. Like, I'm also at a point in my life where it's very important to, like, think about the future and plan for things and get ready for, you know, all the future important stuff. But it's also a time when I can, you know, stop just thinking about doing things and, like, hoping to do them someday, and I can actually start doing them. And I think that's a big transition to make, and I don't think it's going to be, like, a one-step process. But I think it's really something that I want to be working towards. Like, right now, here I am, doing something that I've always wanted to do, and it's great, and I'm loving it. And there are so many other things that I've been imagining doing and dreamt of doing, and, you know, some of those things are going to be outside of my power, at least partially, whether it's, you know, an internship I've always wanted or something like that, but there are definitely ways that, you know, I can kind of seize control over the things and just stop, you know, waiting around for, you know, other stuff to happen and start doing something. And while I'm aware that, like, you know, I'm 20 years old, I don't have to be doing something with my life. At the same time, like, if I have the time and the capacity, the power, the resources to do something, I want to do it. Like, one of my biggest stresses last semester was, like, all of the things that I wanted to do but didn't have time to do because I was doing so many other things. So I'm hoping that my next year will be structured in a way that I have time to be working on things that I want to be working on, working towards, like, project and goals that I set for myself, rather than feeling like I'm just kind of running from one schedule block to the next, even if they are all things that I enjoy. Like, I'm young, I'm antsy, I want to do things, I want to make things. There is so much energy in us, and I hope that I will be able to channel that energy into, you know, doing things and making things that I want to be doing and making, and just feeling like I'm doing the things that I want to be doing. And speaking of doing things I like doing, next weekend I'm going to be briefly abandoning camp to go to VidCon, which should be a really good time. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. If you see me around, definitely, like, come up and say hi. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to tell me downstairs about anything that you've always wanted to do, whether or not you have in fact been able to do that thing, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Bye.